What's up everybody, it's LifeLive42 and today I'm going to be bringing you guys a SpaceEngine commentary. And here I'll just show you my settings and what I use, how to find planets that are good looking, and I'll show you guys how to actually start using SpaceEngine, all the shortcut keys and everything that I use to record and just play SpaceEngine. I'm also starting a new channel called Millennium42, the Millennium42, and I'm going to be doing commentary and just doing video game stuff over there. So I'm working on playing BioShock right now, so once I finish that I'll probably work on other games, but if you guys actually want to check that out, I'll link it to you in the description below. So let's just get started. Now this is my first commentary, so if there's anything wrong, just please write in the description what I can do to change it. So my graphic settings, don't really mess with this. Bloom, everything's just set to default here. Auto exposure I do use sometimes if I want the scene to be dark or something. Otherwise I just keep auto exposure off. Comments brightness usually depends on if I want to see comments or adjusted brightness. So if I want the auroras to be less bright, I'll change this up or down depending on the scene. So if I'm like taking a screenshot and the auroras are too dim, I'll turn this up, or if the comet's too dim as well, I'll turn this up. And you know, vice versa, if it's too dark, turn it down. I mean, if it's too bright, turn it down, and if the aurora's too bright, just turn that down. Skyboxes and imposters, I don't use this section, I pretty much do not use. Diffraction spikes, it's actually set to normal. It's just a little bug that says it's actually set to simple, but it's not. I do not use super, and I don't recommend any of you guys use super either. It's kind of buggy right now, so it kind of glitches through, and it doesn't work for every flare either. It only works for specific flares, like Astroniki. Astroniki I think works with super, so I guess if you want to experiment with super, you can definitely try it, but just be warned, it is glitchy. Diffraction spikes, if I do set auto exposure to 1, I will set this to 1. Because if you don't, the flare is going to look really tiny, and you're going to be wondering where your flare is. So if you ever turn auto exposure on, make sure to change your diffraction spike size, and if you turn it off, make sure to lower your diffraction spike size, because usually it's really large and pretty much the flare will pretty much take over the whole screen. The flare that I use is Astroniki. I do use evolutions sometimes. It's the other flare that you see in most of my videos. I did use nostalgic the last video, but that's pretty rare. Anamorphic, I guess if I do a cinematic video, I'll definitely use anamorphic, but I've yet to do that. Same here, Astroniki, don't really change it. I do use Astroniki too sometimes, and when I do a cinematic video, I will use anamorphic, but that is yet to be seen. Star style, yeah, everything's set here. I don't change any of these things. Star motion blur. You can change the motion blur in game actually with a key, and that is B. If you press B, it'll turn off motion blur, and if you press B again, it'll turn it on. So yeah, star scale. Again, this depends on the scene. So if there's too much stars in the sky or they're too bright, I turn this down. Same with stars over bright. If the stars are too bright, and even if I turn this all the way down, there's just still too bright, I'll turn this down, because usually this is set to 10 on default. Landscape, all these other options, the stars over bright and desaturate some stars, not stars, just desaturate some stars, I do not use this. I don't really need to desaturate the dim stars, and to be honest, it doesn't look like anything really changes. So the LOD, I just use LOD 1 for my regular use. I only use LOD 2 for cinematics or if I'm recording or taking screenshots. If you take screenshots, you should definitely just use LOD 2 and just wait for the game to load, because you know you want the best screenshots you can get. But for regular use, just use LOD 1. LOD 2 just takes too long to load and it starts lagging the game very hard. Switching from LOD 1 to LOD 2 cost me about 30-40 frames, depending on the type of planet and how many things are in the galaxy. So if I'm in an area with a lot of nebula, if I use LOD 2, my frames will drop to 15, and that is just bad. So yeah, LOD 1 for regular use. I guess if you guys, I'd recommend that to you guys as well. If your computer can't handle it, I just say turn it down to LOD 0 or 1. Do not use LOD 2 as a regular use thing. This is set to super. Just a little debug again. All these things here I do not touch. They're on by default and they pretty much stayed like that. Don't really change any of these at all. Planet shine and night side lights. The planet shine don't change. Night side lights, I don't use ships, so this doesn't really pertain to me. I've only done one ship video, and that was actually last version. I think next version, SpaceEngine is adding lava and city lights, so I'm pretty sure that's what that's going to be used. This bar is going to be used for. Until then, I just don't touch this bar. Real planet brightness and real sun brightness. Usually I do not have real planet brightness on, but yeah, I don't know why I had. Oh, it was because I was taking a shot before. So usually I don't use real planet brightness, except if I'm far away and I want to do like increase the exposure. I would turn this real planet brightness on, and depending on your distance from the star, it would light up realistically. So if you're close to the star, the planet will be super bright. If you're far away, it's going to be super dark. If you turn this off, it pretty much just stays at a constant lighting level for the planet, whatever distance you are from the sun, from the star. Real sun brightness, pretty self-explanatory. If you're near the sun, it's going to be really bright. You can't see any sunspots. For G stars, you won't see any sunspots. And higher. M stars, you can still see some sunspots because M stars are really dim, so real sun brightness doesn't really pertain to them. But for our sun, it pretty much, you won't see any of the surface features, and I just don't like that, so I just turn real sun brightness off. It's your personal preference if you want to have it on or not. So let's load into the planetarium. Simple controls go over WASD to move the camera. The three other flight controls are spacecraft and aircraft mode. The difference between spacecraft and aircraft mode. Spacecraft mode, say you're on the planet and you're taking a shot. You move forward in one direction. If you look in a different direction, your camera isn't going to move. It's just going to keep going in that same direction, whether or not you look to a different spot. But if you have the aircraft mode, the direction you look is the direction you move in. So if I look up, I'm going to go up. If I look down, I'm going to go down. In spacecraft mode, that's not true. You just follow the path that you've set for yourself. If that made any sense to you guys, sorry. Not really good at explaining things. What else is here? Oh, something really useful that I don't see people use is if you press F2, this is the solar system browser. Here it's much easier to find planets, instead of just trying to look for them visually, which is really hard. Just use this browser and you can search for any planets. It also has options, so if you don't like dwarf planets or you got something against dwarf moons, just turn these off, and there we go, we're back to the 8 planets. But if you want to see everything, just turn those on. From this menu you can also go to the planets. So if we select Mars and we press G, it will bring us to Mars. Now if you press G twice, it makes see how slow we're moving through space? If you if you press G twice, it speeds it up greatly. So here, as you can see, pressing G twice speeds up the travel time. So if you're impatient, just press G twice. That'll fix all your problems. So another feature is F3. If you press F3, here's your search bar. If you type in anything, so we want to type in Earth. I wonder why my cursor's not showing, but you can type in the object you want to find. So this time we typed in Earth. You can press go to and it'll go directly to that object. Works for different catalogs, so if we want to go to Andromeda, we just type in Andromeda and it'll basically take us there if we press go to. Another cool thing is you can save position. So you press F5. Oof, it's not working. Well, usually if you press F5 you can bring up a log. Oh no, it's F6, never mind. F6 brings up this menu which shows you the locations. You can save locations, so if you want to save this location right now, I might press add, name Earth View, and then we press enter. Make sure to press enter, otherwise you won't be able to use the game. And then if we zoom away and we press it again, go to, here it is, the Earth View again. As you can see, I have a lot of planets I've saved. So this is really useful for going back to different planets. Say you found a really nice planet and you want to save it, this is the menu you'd use. Now there's also another menu, the F1 menu. This one you can zoom out all the way, you can see all the objects, you can click on them. So here's Ares. We can zoom out further. These are all the stars in our local region. So you can click on each of them. Oh, this one actually has life. So as you can see, you can click on the star and then press F2, and you get the star's solar system. And this solar system has a cold ice giant with life. And 28 moons. So these are all the moons of the ice giant. And we can zoom out further. So all these red ones are nebulae. So as you can see, this one's a diffuse nebulae. Distance, it's 5,000 parsecs from us. And you can see all that detail. You can zoom out all the way. As you can see, this is our local group. Zoom out further. Let's go back here. Ooh, we zoom to the nebulae. So let's go visit our nearest neighbor, which is Proxima Centauri. Your star. This does have a procedurally generated solar system, so go here. You can right click on the planet to see its info. You can rotate with the object, track the object, center the object, land on the object. Click info, it shows you the info of the planet, so all this stuff. The physical characteristics, orbital characteristics, the atmospheric characteristics. You can import and export this planet, you can edit the planet. I'll leave that to you guys to figure out. Another thing you can also do is just edit the planet directly, so go to the editor and it's just a simple thing. You just change the atmosphere of the planet. So you want like a Martian atmosphere, you just change that. Jupiter, Neptune, and you can change the atmospheric height. So if you want a super thick atmosphere like this, you can do it. I don't recommend you make it this extreme, but saying it to something like this, it's pretty reasonable. You can change all these things: density of the atmosphere, greenhouse effect, bright, opacity, skylight. All these things you can change. You can change surface things, landscape options, orbital properties, physical properties. You can change the type it is: a planet, dwarf planet, asteroid, comet. The class it is in, so we can change it to like a gas giant. It's updated. And so this is your friendly gas giant near a sun with a super thick atmosphere. It's really small too. And you can just mess around and get really cool things with that. You can do that to any planet, procedural and catalog. Another thing, you know that a star is procedural because it has RS. If it does not have RS, it is catalog. So catalogs are actual real stars that we actually have data for. So if we zoom out here, here's a good place. So as you can see, the Milky Way is not really bright, but we can change that by changing the luminosity and increasing it. So now the Milky Way looks much nicer. If you want to get like a good shot of the planet viewing the Milky Way from a top-down view, you just click on one of these stars here, go into one of them. Here's what actually real sun brightness could actually be useful. See how the planet's really bright from turning up the exposure? You put the real planet brightness on and it looks nicer. And then you can get down near the galaxy. And here we go, we have a view of the Milky Way. Sunset view. Again, like I said, you can change the atmosphere and change it to however you like. So you can see we've changed the Earth's atmosphere, so this is what it looks like on sunset. Venus's atmosphere, Mars's atmosphere, Jupiter's atmosphere. And I think we'll just keep it at Jupiter's just to see. Or we can change it to Neptune's. I think Jupiter looks better. So we just stay here on the surface. Now, here's an awesome thing you can do. You can increase the magnitude brightness to show more stars. So if we press this all the way, as you can see, it looks like a giant array of dots right here. That is easily fixable. All you have to do is go to star scale, tone it down a bit. Sure the settings are good, and there you go. You just keep messing with the settings, but you can get pretty much a Milky Way with stars in the night sky, even from a far distance. Now, be warned, this is very taxing. Right now I'm currently running at 10 FPS doing this, but I'm also running at 1440p, so if you're running 1080, you'll probably get 20 FPS. So I don't recommend doing this at 4K at all. I guess if your computer can handle it, yes, but until SpaceEngine supports SLI, I don't think you'll have a powerful enough graphics card to handle it. So let's just change that back. So let me show you another example. So this is my Aurora planet. Ooh, okay, this is what happens when you stress out SpaceEngine. Basically what's happened is pretty much when we loaded all those stars, we pretty much overloaded the whole game. So the galaxy doesn't even load anymore. Let me show you an example. If we go like E4 or something. Wow, this galaxy actually loaded. And actually load the stars. But sometimes, after increasing the magnitude brightness really high and loading all those stars, your game will just glitch out and it won't load anything anymore. It won't load any galaxies or load any stars, and pretty much the simple fix to this is just to restart your game. That's the only fix for this. So that's about it for today. I mean, I don't really have much to share about you. I am working on 2 new projects, actually 3. I'm actually doing a community project on SpaceEngine. So if you guys want to submit your own planets, submit your own locations, you can take, and just, I'll give you an example. Just save the location. So did what I did, just add it to your location, then press copy. And then paste that location in the forum thread where the challenge is located. It's not really a challenge, but a community project, and just put that in, and yeah, I'll be able to make a video on it. the video is probably going to be 8 to 9 minutes long, depending. You guys can, as I said, it depends on the amount of submissions I get. So if there's not enough submissions, that's kind of sad. And I might have to reduce the time to like 3 to 4 minutes if it's really that bad. But I'm hoping you guys will chime in and give your planets that you found. And I've hoped this has helped a lot. Oh, my other 2 projects, working on another SpaceEngine video as, you know, normal. But I'm also working on a video project for BioShock Infinite, so as I'm doing the commentary on my other channel, I'm gonna save that film and then make a cinematic for you guys. So that will probably take a month, because I have to play through all of BioShock and get all the film. Yeah, it does take up a lot of space on my hard drive. I have a 4 terabyte hard drive currently, and I've already filled half of it up. So I am using NVIDIA's GeForce Experience Shadowplay to film the BioShock one. So that one isn't like Fraps. It doesn't eat your hard drive space alive. In fact, I think for a 15-minute video, it only uses up 3 to 4 gigabytes of space, where Fraps would use at least 100 to 200. So that's, I can basically record the whole BioShock series and still have room on my hard drive. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. If you want me to do more of these videos where I actually talk and we can explore the universe, please give comments that saying you want it, and please give me a like, knowing that'll show me that you guys actually like this. I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace.